Hey guys, this past weekend I had sent an email out to my email list where I didn't really plan what I was going to type. I just kind of did stream of thought typing. This is kind of my new experiment is what happens when I just let myself ramble and type and in the moment and see what comes out of it. And I was I wanted to talk about I wanted to share the video that I made last week with my email list. So I thought I was going to talk about burnout, but really what I started talking about was creativity and how I wanted a creative outlet. And it made me realize that for the last couple of, really for the last couple of years, I've been yearning for a creative outlet. And somehow I always turned what should be for creative outlet, what should be fun, into something that feels work and something that feels like it has a lot of stakes attached to it. If you ever started something just for fun, but then you end up resenting it, I hope this video resonates with you. So I want to share a bit of the email that I wrote. So it started with, I have a confession to make. I'm very tired. I'm tired of trying to be put together in everything I do. I'm tired of trying to do good work. And I'm tired of doing things the right way. So over the past couple of weeks, I've been experimenting with finding a creative outlet that works for me. I started a blog, a personal YouTube channel, which is this one, and a podcast. And with each one, I went through the same cycle from being super excited and psyched up to freezing up about it. And then finally to burnout or overextension and exhaustion. I realized that I was trying to turn my fun projects into work. I ended up putting goals with stakes on what started out as a just for fun kind of thing. And then I put myself in fight, flight, or freeze mode, which is what happens when I find myself freezing and not wanting to do the thing that originally was so fun to me. So usually when I am in survival mode, my body picks the freeze option and it stops wanting to do the thing. And if I keep pushing myself past the freeze mode, then I overextend myself and I hit burnout. And as long as I keep doing this, I'll never be able to truly allow myself to fully express myself and have that creative outlet that I've been yearning for. Because here's the thing, you can't be fully creative if your body and brain thinks that you're in survival mode, right? Think of if you're trying to run away from a tiger and then you want to stop and enjoy the flowers and the scenery, and create art or whatever. Like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Creativity requires relaxing into diffuse awareness, while survival mode is all about focused awareness. And when it's taken to the extreme, tunnel vision. And I realized that that's why I so desperately wanted to just record something that wasn't scripted. I wanted to write letters to my email list that weren't planned ahead of time. Like I wanted to do more things that in the moment. And I understand that not doing things the right way, like I know how YouTube works, I know how the algorithm works, but not doing it the right way means like, I probably can't grow an audience efficiently. But that's when I had to ask myself, right? Why did you start this in the first place? And that is a question I wish everybody asked themselves more of, which is, why did you start this in the first place? Because for me, it's to have a creative outlet. It was to have fun. It was to like myself more and show myself more and talk about the things I don't normally talk about with other people in my life. Like, yeah, sure. If it becomes something else, that's great, right? If it builds an audience, that's great. If it makes money for me somehow, that's great. If it leads me to meeting cool people, that's great. But on the list of priorities, like being able to fully have a creative outlet where I can fully express myself, that ranks number one. That's what I've been yearning for. Everything else, it goes below that. This is something we teach in our Badass Body Boss program, actually, which is if you have multiple things competing for your attention, figure out what you actually prioritize in those things, because you need to make an executive decision on what action to take. So if you have like 3 different things, like, creative outlet, making money, being able to meet interesting people, right? And they all want you to do different actions in order to get that thing. Like for instance, what kind of a video should I make, right? There's videos that's better for in monetization. There's videos that's better for like attracting interesting people. And then there's videos where I just like am just like spewing at the camera because that's my form of self-expression in the moment. And they want me to do different things with the video. Which one do I listen to? Well, if I know what my priorities are, because I asked myself the question, why did you start this in the first place? I know it's always going to be creative outlet first. sorry, not always. You get to change your mind. I let myself change my mind, right? But right now, my heart is choosing creative outlet. Like maybe in the future it might change. I don't know. But right now, this is what it is. And so I want to share a response that I got to my email that I thought, oh, just so illustrated the point so well. And thanks, Angie, for letting me share your email. So yeah, you can't be fully creative if your body and brain thinks you're in survival mode. Oh, and if you guys haven't read Barbara Oakley, she wrote a book, but also I think she gives talks on, you can find like her stuff online too. She has this course. I think it's a free online course, and it's called something about creativity. I don't remember, but it's Barbara Oakley. I can link her stuff in the description below. But she talks about how your brain has two modes. There's focused awareness, and then there's diffuse awareness. And when you're in focused awareness, that's when you're like exploring and being creative, and you're not even really actively thinking about anything, but your brain is always working in the background. I recently been reading this book called Rest, and they talk about the same thing, which is like when you're like doing not just any rest, but like deliberate rest, which they talk about more in the book, which is like you're not focused on, you're doing something, but you're not really focused on like the problem. The problem will keep running in the back of your mind, and then you get this, you're able to make more connections and have more creative inspiration. Whereas when you're in focus mode, it's like you have a goal, you have one thing that you need to get done, and then you're just really focused on that. And it makes you very efficient at getting a problem solved, but you don't have the, but you're not as creative and open to new ideas. And you really need both, right, in order to be a productive but also happy person. So that's what I mean by like you can't fully be creative if your body and brain thinks you're in survival mode. So Andy said that something similar happened to me yesterday. I was trying to make myself a hand-painted canvas bag and ordered extra bags for practices. Angie, you're so artistic. I love you. With the hidden thoughts that I might be able to sell some on some Facebook groups. I was very excited to make my own bag, but when the package arrived, I opened the box and I saw those extra bags. And the idea that I'm going to be in such a perfectionist mode and, oh, how am I going to sell them on Facebook? It just overwhelmed and scared me. And immediately I had resentment for painting. And I think I realized I just can't be chilled out about making art as a fun hobby. I need to make an intentional effort to protect it as my creative outlet, something that I don't have to value my outcomes in terms of monetary value, at least not for now. Man, it's hard when I think about sharing it on Instagram to inspire other people. I would also think about growing followers and future conversions to product or purchases. Oh my God, my mind is such a tricky thing. Let's fight together for our creative outlet, or rather, let's rest together. And I think what I love about this is that it really shows like this is something that's happened to me repeatedly, where I pick up something for fun, like originally meant to be a fun hobby kind of thing. And then I think about, oh, but I could take it in this direction now, so I can take it in that direction and that, and oh, I can kill two birds with one stone if I sell it here or get a testimonial for that there or whatever. And then like it ends up being, and then I get resentful, just like Angie did. I get resentful about it because it stopped being a creative outlet. It stopped being fun. It stopped being play for me. And I also didn't allow myself to change my mind. Like there was something about like, once I do something, I better take it all the way and do everything right. And I wouldn't let myself change my mind and be like, no, actually, I changed my mind. I'm just going to produce crap, or at least possibly it's crap from other people's perspective, but it feels good to me, right? I just want to feel good. There are some things that it's okay just to do it to feel good. And it's okay to change your mind. If you decide, like if Angie creates this handbag and she had one design in mind, and then she's like, you know what, actually, I don't want to do this design anymore. Doesn't spark joy anymore. I want to do a different design, or that's totally okay, right? Because her priority is, I need a creative outlet right now. Yes, maybe I can monetize it later. Okay. And if I monetize it now, that's great too, as long as it doesn't drag down or sabotage the creative outlet goal, right? So yes, maybe I can monetize it. Yes, maybe I can like build a following or something with it, right? Or maybe like, it might help me like make connections with other people in the art space. I don't know, right? But where are these on your list of priorities? What is your highest priority thing? And then like be aligned and have integrity to, stick to that, right? And if you change your mind, I think like I said earlier, like it's also okay to change your mind, because that's one of my limiting beliefs that I had to work through, which is like it's okay to change your mind. Like you're not a bad person if you change your mind. But I think the caveat there is, as long as the deliberate decision to change your mind is aligned with what you're actually feeling. So what I mean is, if I change my mind and decide, no, I want to go back to scripted YouTube videos and be top niche down into something, because I decided that creative outlet either is not important to me anymore, or I realize I can get it somewhere else, and YouTube, I want it to become like a professional thing. So, and it feels good to do that, right? Then that's a deliberate changing of mind that still aligns with my values, and more importantly, with like how I feel. I think so many people discount their feelings, but your feelings are like one of your biggest signals of like what you really care about. However, if I decided I'm going to change my YouTube video and go back to scripted videos because of fear of judgment, I don't know, fear of feeling like I should know better, I'm kind of making stuff up, or because I think that's what other people want, those feel bad. And so therefore, they are not in alignment with what I truly want. That's the simplest way I can describe it. And as I'm learning to get more in touch with my body, I'm learning to feel my feelings more and kind of like more understand what these signals are telling me. So I hope this helps with anyone else who has a creative outlet and find that they end up being resentful for their own creative projects. Again, I want to say that I'm not saying that you shouldn't have goals attached to your creative pursuits, or you shouldn't want to try to monetize something. This is a very personal and subjective decision. My only thing is, ask yourself, why did I start this? Like, what is the real underlying reason that I started this? What are actually my priorities when it comes to doing this project that I started? And am I living in alignment with what I said? And one more thing though, even when I am doing something where there are actual stakes, like in my actual, do for money type of work, and I have clients, and yeah, there are stakes involved, right? I have to deliver. Even then, sometimes I'll think to I'm working on this right now. This is an experiment, but one of the experiments I'm doing right now is asking myself, okay, I know you think there are stakes, but what if there weren't any stakes? What if it doesn't matter? What if it doesn't matter how this turns out? Then what would it be like? And I've only experimented with this for a few days, but what I find is that when I remove the stakes, when I internally remove any stakes from myself, doing the thing that I wanted to do actually feels a little bit easier. And like if I'm stuck on, like, let's say I'm writing a YouTube video for my weight loss business and I'm stuck on what to say, when I tell myself, okay, let's just pretend there's no deadlines, there's no stakes, this video can be whatever it is, what would you write? And I would have something to say. So even in a situation where there are stakes, and sometimes I question myself, like, how real are those stakes? Like how much of the stakes is real stakes versus stakes I made up? But when I remove any and all stakes, I enter that creative mode. And again, this goes back to, you can't be fully creative if your body thinks that you're in survival mode. I basically internally take myself out of survival mode. It doesn't always work, but asking that question takes me one step closer to getting out of survival mode. If this helps, if this resonated with you, please leave a comment below. Let me know what your creative outlet is. And if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend, and I'll leave some resources and other things in the description below if you want to take a look at that too. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you.